today? Y'all shining today? It's a beautiful day, y'all. We got to get our shine on today. How are y'all doing today? Welcome in, welcome in. I'm going to give y'all a few minutes. They got to send out a notification, right? But today we're going to be talking about walking in your purpose. Ooh, walking in your purpose. Yes. So this video is inspired by a few different events. The main event that it's inspired by is, of course, the book club, right? We had such a ball last night in a book club, and it's like the more we read the chapters in that book, the deeper it get, the more revelation we get, the more clarity that we get about being the best that we could be, right? Changing our limited beliefs. So a lot of us have limiting beliefs, right? And another event that transpired was I saw a video of a lady. She has a husband and he takes care of her. And she posts, she's a content creator, right? She posts on social media and she tells women how to be as a woman from her perspective. She's giving advice from her journey. Now, here it is. She's walking in her purpose, fulfilling her assignment, and people have negative beliefs because they don't believe that they can walk in their purpose as well. And their negative beliefs was in her comments telling her to keep her marriage private, right? So I say all of that to say this. How long we got to keep things private? How long do we have to live in these limiting beliefs that's keeping us from our purpose because of other people's opinions? Like, the good part about it is she didn't let that stop her from walking in her purpose. However, it's daunting to know that many people feel like God can't bless you and you share it with the world to help other people, because that's a part of walking in your purpose. Walking in our purpose really consists of serving others. Like, we have this deep sense of feeling wanted and needed and loved. Welcome in, y'all. We have this deep sense of wanting to feel attached to something or connected and know that we play an intricate part in this world, right? So we want to give back what God has blessed us with through knowledge, skills, strategies, everything like that. But then when you have somebody with a limiting belief coming on trying to tear you down, it can be daunting. Trust me, it can be daunting. However, don't let that stop y'all from walking in y'all purpose. And to understand really what your purpose is, I think that you have to go search deeper on becoming, right? So if when you search deeper to become a better version of yourself from where you may have started out, and as you learn and you grow, you can help others grow, right? Learn and grow. Grand Rising, how are you? We shining today, so it's rising and shining today, right? But as you learn to grow and you can share your experiences with somebody else, that's what we're put here to do. We're put here to help others along our path, right? So we can't let naysayers or people with limiting beliefs stop us on our journey from fulfilling our purpose and our passion, because this is what you truly desire. Oh, thank you. Welcome to the royal family. Welcome, welcome. So we got to continue to move forward in everything that we do in order to be the best version of ourselves for God. Because really, we're not the people who have limiting beliefs and try to shun you from your purpose. They don't recognize what their purpose is. They don't have a sense of why. You know what I mean? So they have to step into themselves as well. And the thing about it is that's just a couple people, but think about the millions of people that God will have you impact. He's not going to let your foot stumble. When you're walking upright and you're serving the Lord, you're being obedient, doing his will, everything he tells you to do every single day. Lord, when you wake up every day, Lord, what is your will? Not my will be done, but yours, right? you are going to walk in your purpose, because he's going to give you a strategic plan on how to move throughout your day. When you get up in the morning, he gonna say, okay, do this first, do that second, and then do this, and then he gonna give you the next set of instructions after you complete that, right? But God ain't gonna never make you look silly for walking in your purpose, for fulfilling his assignment, right? So yeah. So in order to walk in your assignment, you have to stand strong. And that's why it's very important to become in your life, right? Become. Be a better version of yourself, building your character. Hey, y'all, hey. So when you build your character, you're learning to withstand the evil things that people may say up against you. You learning to how to just turn it off. You know what I mean? Instead of operating in your flesh, it's teaching you how to walk in the spirit. It's teaching you how to overlook certain things that people do. It's teaching you how to move forward, because even though that message may not be for a person who talks against you, it's for somebody who really needs it and was praying to God. You ever been in a situation where you was praying to God and asking him for an answer and somebody showed up? That's because we are vessels for the Lord, right? We're supposed to be doing the Lord's work. And then when we show up, and then what the person say? I was just praying to God for an answer, and here you come with the answer. Walk in your full potential. Exactly. Yeah. So don't allow other people to knock you off your square, right? Continue to walk in your purpose, walk on your path, determine what your why is, like strengthen your why, make it so deep that it has to do with serving others more so than it is for serving yourself. And that's what we learned in a book last night in a book club. Hey, and so we talked about how when you walking in your how do you hear that? Well, we talked about when you're walking in your purpose, you're supposed to be wait a minute, hold on, because I'm this thing going off, y'all. But when you walking in your purpose, you're gonna be helping other people. Put it that way. You're not gonna have to worry about God making you look silly, God doing anything crazy, right? He gonna lead you, he gonna guide you, and he gonna put you in the face of the right people who has been reaching out to him, needing prayer. And guess what? The people that's gonna come to you are gonna be able to say, you know what? I really needed this. I really needed you. Don't focus on having fun. Yeah, a life of freedom. That's definitely what you want. You know, that's the overall goal when you walking in your purpose and fulfilling it. Because what God say in the Bible, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And the labor is, it's not that hard. You know what I mean? It's what we do anyway. When we step outside and we can make somebody feel better. When we step outside and we can smile and make somebody's day a little bit brighter. You know what I mean? Just like when y'all came in here this morning and y'all said, good morning, hey. You know, like that is part of doing God's will for your life. That is your purpose. But it's also the skills that you have. So think about the things that you've been doing over the years, right? A lot of jobs and positions that I was putting in over the years, it helped to strengthen my skills for this very day right here. It helped me along my path. And that's how strategic God is. He will put you in places early in your life in order to help you build your skills, your strengths, right? So that you can be equipped and ready. That's why everything you need is already in you to walk in your purpose. You don't need any outside anything to walk in your purpose. It's already in you. Your story. Share your story, right? Share your experience for your journey. Whatever your journey is. Talk about how God brought you out of it. Talk about how God blessed you abundantly. Don't worry about if the people with the limiting beliefs is sitting up there saying they don't want you to tell it, or we gonna tell it. We gonna spread the good news, right? Just like the lady who's married and she's trying to tell other women about being in a happy marriage. You could tell your story and not worry about other people that are maybe living in a miserable place themselves, right? So the only thing they can do is project their fears. Oh, no, you keep what going on in this house, stay in this house, keep your marriage life private. No, share it with the world. We see so many divorce rates on TV. We see so many people, the divorce rate is high. What is the divorce rate? I believe it's 50%. But that means that the marriage rate is also 50%. So why not share with the world to increase the positives aspect of it versus focusing on a negative that if you telling all what's going on in your home with your marriage, it's a certain place, a way you can do it without telling all your business. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you choose to do, God has put on your heart, just do it. He gonna give you the desires of your heart. But all he wants you to do is strengthen your why to develop your character, right? Strengthen your why and develop your character, and that will help you to withstand yourself on the path, right? We always say different, new level, new devils, right? So if it's a new level and you experiencing a new devil, God is equipping you and preparing you with the test that you receive in your life. Life is not working against you. It's working for you. So those tests that you receive in your life every single day or every however often they show up in your life is really to help you build your character to become a better version of yourself as you grow. And as you grow, you help other people grow. And as other people grow, it's like individually we doing something to build a whole collective masterpiece, right? For God. It's a whole masterpiece that's coming together when all of our pieces is on this puzzle. So do whatever it is that God has told you to do and be obedient to his word. Utilize your skills. Let the fear go. As long as you walk in love, God got your back. As long as you walk in obedience, God got your back, right? But we are on display for the Lord. So walking in your purpose is not that hard. It's whatever you want to do, utilizing your skills. Like, let's just say with me talking or communicating, right? I've went to Toastmaster classes. Didn't know why I was going back then, but I went like 20 years ago. You get what I'm saying? So if I'd have known that going to a Toastmasters class was going to help me today with how to talk, I would have been like, oh, let me go do some more. Let me go do this. Let me go find something else. If I'd have known that having customer service jobs or jobs where I was like accounts managers and stuff, where I was actually on the phone and having to conduct my conversation in a professional manner, it taught me. You get what I'm saying? Those are the skills that God gives you from the positions that you have been in your life. And you handle your job like this. You do your job so good and so quick and easy. It's like second nature. Maybe it's that you good with writing grants, or maybe God has you in different positions for different reasons. But it's not to be limited to that space. God is outside the box. So if you in nursing, we'll use nursing for example, right? The skills that you've gained from being in a nursing field, and you may be a CNA, okay? They don't make a lot of money, and you like, look, I need to change. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but Lord, I want my own CNA business, right? Those skills that you attain actually being in the field with your hands on, doing the work, that's what's helping you to be able to have your own to sustain. And in order to operate any business, baby, let me tell you something. It's gonna require a little bit of character. It's gonna require discipline, right? But the discipline is the main factor. And I'm gonna tell you how to help with the discipline. What you're gonna do is you have to get organized. Walking in your purpose is going to require being organized. This is the reason why you're supposed to get away from people and spend time by yourself so that you can focus, so that you can get to your destination, right? Because the things that we make a priority in our life, it makes everything else a distraction. So if we are giving our priorities, our attention to the wrong thing, then guess what? We get distracted, right? But when you give your attention to the things that matter most to you, that fulfills your heart's desire, no matter how much you fear it, No matter how much you don't want to do it. If God put it on your heart, he know that he's entrusting that you can do it. He ain't gonna put no more on you than you could bear. But being organized is very intricate. So you may not be trying to walk in your purpose or start a business right now, but in order to maintain your personal private life, you got to be organized in that area. And when God gives you a little bit and you can show yourself how to steward that little bit, he will bless you with so much more, right? But he's going to also bless you with more, a space to grow. He's going to bless you with more ways to grow in that area. So today you may start off with doing a to-do list, right? But then after you master that to-do list, now you can fit it in your schedule like clockwork, and it takes you 5 minutes. Good morning. It take you 5 minutes to do that to-do list, right? Now that you've mastered it, you might go on to say, okay, I'm gonna create a budgeting spreadsheet. These things are very important in your life if you run in a household or what have you, because a lot of times we're spending money before it come in, right? And if we don't know what you're spending and it's going out as fast as it's coming in, you want to make sure you're balancing your books and you're taking care of all of your bills before and needs before you take care of your wants, right? So some people have it mastered without having to make a budget, but the thing is the organization and going to it every month, knowing what it is, because sometimes it can change. Creating a grocery list that you might want to advance yourself to that. So doing things in your personal life is just strengthening you, right? And maybe it's not, I'm not saying go and do 20 lists or 20 different types of lists every single day. No, that's not what I'm saying. But to keep your life on track and to have a sense of where you're going, and you have a vehicle that's going to drive you there to that destination quicker, because you know that discipline is very hard. Just to sit there and be like, how am I do it? It sounds so daunting, right? It sounds like it's too much. And when it seems like something is too much for you, what you begin to do is procrastinate. You like, nah, I just ain't gonna do nothing. Because while you looking at the situation, it seems like it's overcomplicated. We overthink, right? But when we overthink and we overcomplicate things, it's because we haven't wrote it down. We haven't got it out of our mind. We haven't put it on paper. Get it out your mind so you can think more thoughts, right? You may want to just write down what you need to do for the week. But if you write it down and you create an organized life, then guess what? You may turn into a person who got organized systems in place. Or you may turn into a person who's managed and mastered their time management, right? It's different type of things that you can do. But mastering it on a personal level, then that's when God will give it to you on a grander scale. That's when God would say, look, go tell my people. Go help my people. Go out there, walk in your purpose. I'm ready for you to fulfill your assignment. I know, because you done did it in this area. And then you be sitting there like, but God, I don't know what to do. God, I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to write. He like, I already put it inside of you. It's up to you to decide. You got the skills. That's what God is saying to you. So you know what that skill is that you have inside of you, the skills, the things that impact your heart. Think about things that really, if you hear a certain subject and something is talked about and you get passionate, you get so passionate because you like, oh my goodness, I gotta help. I think this is wrong, and you want to change something. Like you want to bring that positive change to the world, and it just gets on you so much. God bless you. And it just weighs on your heart because you feel like it's a better way or somebody's suffering. That's probably your purpose. That's probably what you should be putting your focus on, right? But in order to get to that place, it requires the back end work, the things that you can't see on a physical level, which is keeping your life organized, making yourself disciplined, becoming a better person. So getting that, the training that you need, the spiritual training, the mental training, and the physical training, right? You have to cultivate your temple. This is the temple of God, right? So God is saying to make your temple holy. And the way you make your temple holy is by submitting to God or being obedient. I was reading, it's crazy because let me go to this. We was on talking about how sickness and diseases, diseases in the body, diseasement, right? We was talking about that in the book. And the lady wound up having stage 4 cancer. And when she had the stage 4 cancer, she took the traditional route. She did the chemo, she did all of that stuff, right? And the thing is it created a purpose in her son. I'm gonna read it to y'all, okay? Because I just felt like I had to share that with y'all. But let me go ahead and read it to you so you can get a full understanding of what I'm talking about. How the types of things that we engage in, negative thoughts and unforgiveness and walking around in all of these bitterness, anger, those things are weighing on your organs. They're weighing on your body. And when God is saying keep your temple holy, he's saying refrain from all of that and walk in love for a reason, because he know it's going to shorten your lifespan. It's going to make your health worse. You know what I mean? Because it's not the food, it's not just food. Hey, I'm good in you. It's not just food, it's also the things that you think about. It's also the things that you do on a regular basis, right? But it's more so your mental, your spiritual. Your spiritual is very important, because what do you have to fall on when you're going through hard times, or when you may work yourself up into an anxious place and you don't know how to get out of it? Do you have the word of God, or do you have something positive that can pull you up out of that place, right? So that's why it's important to work on spiritual, physical, and mental, right? Now, it says, when I was in the 8th grade, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer that had spread to her lymph nodes. This came as a shock to my family and me. We couldn't understand how my 41-year-old mom, a swim instructor and gym teacher, the picture of health and wellness, was sick with a life-threatening disease. So as you see in this book, it's showing that she lived a lifestyle where she kept her body up, she ate the right things, and she did. So it's not just the food that you ingest into your body that's keeping your temple unholy. Okay? Now it says, my mom chose the conventional route of treatment, a mastectomy followed by 4 cycles of chemotherapy. I'll never forget seeing clumps of her sandy blonde hair fall to the bathroom floor and noticing she looked like she aged 20 years in 2 weeks. So this is what traditional medicine is like, right? It's close. My relationship with God is very close. That's what it is. We close. I almost didn't recognize her. I remember thinking 3 things at that time. Number 1, he wanted to help her get well. Number 2, he didn't want anyone else to suffer the way that she was. So you see how that pierced his heart? And 3, there must be a better way. So having to see her with her hair falling out, her aging in 2 weeks, by 20 years, that made him feel some type of way where he was like, it's gotta be something else. It's gotta be a better way. And it prompted something in his heart to want to go out and seek it. But you see, it took for something to happen inside of his family for him to recognize it's got to be a purpose for me behind this. Like, he went on a quest. He seeked and he was finding. He was knocking and the door is going to be open. Listen to this. It say, although mom was declared cancer-free after the harsh treatments, her health continued to spiral downward. While she recovered from chemotherapy and returned to her job, she felt lousy. You know how it makes you feel worse than what it is. Mom struggled with a weak immune system and was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. Chronic fatigue syndrome. Too much cortisol was probably being released in the body, and that's a lot. That happens a lot with people. I don't know about men, but I know that happens a lot with women. So when too much cortisol is released in the body, what is it doing? It's causing the body to fight against itself, right? When the body fight against itself, what is going to make you do? Tired. Okay. And she also suffered from a mood disorder. So her moods was constantly changing. She probably was warring on the inside of her mind. This is why it's important to take care of your mental state as well, right? A mood disorder, she may wanted to be happy. She may wanted to have positive thoughts all the time. But sometimes those negative thoughts or things running through your mind, overthinking, all of these things is weighing on your mind. Sometimes your mind just want to break. Just like when people go fast and they give their body and their organs a rest, so they go fast for 3 days and they let their organs rest, sometimes we need to let our minds rest. And we just don't do that with technology today. When you have a cell phone and you're going to bed with the phone, you're waking up with the phone, you're sleeping with the phone on your pillow, you have no rest. Your mind is constantly running. And that's what it is. Sometimes you just got to sit down and be, because your mind needs to rest too, right? So as a result of it, she was prescribed antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. Her thoughts, her thought patterns caused her to have to be on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. It's a seeing my mom struggle with her health inspired me to begin studying nutrition and functional medicine as opposed to the conventional medicine, which focuses on finding the root cause of the disease, right? So the disease meant that was in her body. He wanted to get down to the root of it. And the root of it really is you got to work on your temple. You got to work on your mind, the spirit that's inside of you, the Holy Spirit, right? You got to work on. Exactly. Hey, right. You got to go find what they call, he called it functional medicine, right? We got to go with that route versus uh, conventional, because it's all set up to keep you coming back, right? That's right. Okay, so he said 10 years after his mom cancer diagnosis. Okay, so he said this became his purpose in life. So he was focused on trying to find the root cause of it. So maybe it's something that you can think about as well in your life that may have pierced your heart and that you want to really find a solution to do. That may just be your purpose. But the skills that you have built up and attained along the way, maybe you have great research skills just like him, and he went on a quest to find what is the root cause of this. It ain't just the food. He went looking for the food and the functional, right? So it says 10 years after my mom's cancer diagnosis, I was 25 years old and close to graduating and opening my own clinic when I received a call from her. I've got bad news, Josh, Mom said in tears. My oncologist told me they found a tumor on my lungs and was 2.5 centimeters, right? He wants to do surgery and start radiation right away. That's what the doctor's going to do. The doctor's going to try to get you right in right away to get alleviate the problem. And it's not to say that their way doesn't work, because it has saved a lot of lives. But like you say, you want to go searching for that natural way so that it doesn't have more of an effect on the body either, because your body is that temple for God when you're fulfilling your purpose, right? You want to be in good health if you experiencing great wealth. You know what I mean? You don't want to be having all of this wealth and then you really can't do nothing with, because your body is out of whack. You've let other people tear you down, or, harbor resentment or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it says, I encouraged my mom as best as I could and I prayed with her. The next day, I flew from Florida back to Ohio to help mom with a health program to treat the root of many of her issues. So he created a whole program for his mother in order to help her to alleviate this sickness, because he wanted her to try this before she went to go get traditional medicine. So the goal was for her to not, number one, change her diet. Number two, overcome toxic thoughts. Number three, reduce stress. What do we see with people that's stressed out all the time? Strokes, heart attacks, high blood pressure. That's stress. Other conditions as well. If you look at the roots of other conditions as well, that's what they resort back to. These things right here. And then number four, he wanted her to cleanse her system. So cleansing her system was probably resetting her body by putting her on a fast for a little bit, changing her diet, changing the things that she was putting into her body. Hey, happy to see you too. Hey. And helping her with her overcoming her toxic thoughts. So your thoughts really play a major part in where you are in life. It can play when your mental is playing on you. it can cause diseasement in your body. And when your mental is playing on you, it can cause you to think that people are looking at you. You know, this is another thing. We be like, oh, I don't want nobody to look at me a certain type of way. I wonder what they gonna say. Everybody's walking around like that. 90% of America is walking around wondering what somebody else gonna say. So they're walking, not paying attention to you. They paying attention to themselves, making sure they don't look crazy because they don't want you to judge them like they don't want you, like you don't want them to judge you. So it's like these fears that we have, and if it constantly play on your mind, and then another thing is letting other people project their fears on you, like being around the wrong people when you're in a position of birthing something. When God got you, when God has you pregnant with your purpose, you cannot be around the wrong people. It's just like carrying a baby. You have to make sure that you give this baby proper nutrition. You have to be in the right mental place because you don't want to add this stress. Because guess what? That umbilical cord that connects that child to the parent, it is the same umbilical cord that is going to connect your thoughts, your emotions. That child is going to feel it too. And if you look at your children, I don't know if y'all have children, but you could kind of look at your children and see certain traits that mimic how you were while you were pregnant. If you're a woman, you know what I'm saying? That's not for everybody, but so those are the four things. I'm gonna say it once again: changing your diet, overcoming toxic thoughts, reducing stress, and cleansing her system. Try that, y'all. For the next 4 months, my mom stopped eating processed food and instead juiced fresh vegetables. So you see what he changed her to, like a liquid, but it was a fruit. He took meats out of her stuff, out of her diet. She took numerous nutritional supplements, turmeric, astragalus, reishi, vitamin D, etc. Spent time outside every single day. That's connecting with nature. That's connecting with God, right? Spending time outside every day, breathing in that fresh air. It's like becoming, just coming back to yourself instead of, the stress of going to work and paying bills and living in a materialistic society, right? So now she's reconnecting to nature. That's what we have to do. We're unplugged from nature, where God brought us from. If we came from the dust, guess what? We're going to return to the dust. But while we're here, we should be connecting to what God has placed us with and not unplugging from it to go towards the materialistic world, right? Okay, so it says she spent time outside every day and started the practices of gratitude. So she had to change her thoughts to a place of gratitude. Like, it's a choice. Now you have to be consciously aware of what you are choosing to think about. So he made this plan and told her, hey, you need to get up every day. You need to be talking about having gratitude, right? And then visualization. So visualization plays a major part because you have to see the thing before you see a thing, or else you'll never see a thing, right? Faith without works is dead. So if you want to bring something from the unseen into the seen realm, you want to be able to visualize it first. That's where the creation starts, in the mind. But if the mind is having limited belief, toxic thoughts, how can it come from a creative place and build something that's sustainable, right? We're building it in grief and sorrow. If you're building something and you walking around with a negative mindset or toxic thoughts, you get what I'm saying? And prayer. That's what he did for his mother. Every day, she went outside, practiced gratitude, visualization, and prayer. All these new protocols helped her form a positive mindset. My mom followed this regimen for 4 months and then returned to her oncologist for blood work and imaging. Oh, y'all, check this out. The doctor's response was astounding, okay? What's happening is highly unusual, he began. We don't see cancer shrink very often. Mom's largest tumor had shrunk by 52%. Do you see how the mind plays a part on how the body is acting out or in alignment, however it is such? Whether it's positive or negative, now the body started getting into alignment because her thoughts started aligning with positivity. Her negative thoughts is gone, so that stress and all of that stuff, she wasn't harboring it in. She let it go, right? So It says, the oncologist told my mother, keep doing what you're doing because whatever you're doing, it's working. Her medical team decided to hold off on surgery, and 9 months later, my mom was cancer-free and in complete remission. So after she had decided to do this for 9 months, she was completely clean of whatever diseasements was going on in the body because it was simply attached to the areas of her life that she had not been paying attention to, which was probably what she was putting in her mouth. And you know, we got some taste buds, y'all. We love a good food. Oh, if it got the right seasonings, baby. Oh, and then another thing is those thoughts, the mind state, right? And another thing, when you taking those antidepressants and all of that stuff, it put you in a mind state where you kind of like zoned out or ziggity boo. You know what I mean? It don't really help you to function properly the way you want to. You want to be able to take something and then you still able to function and get what you need to get accomplished without having all of those thoughts running through your mind or overthinking. You know what I mean? So, and I guess that's why that saying be like, baby, you must be tired because you've been running through my mind all day. No, you're tired because your mind is running all day. That's exactly what it is. Bless you and your family as well. Thank you. So it says here, at the time of this writing, my mom is 68 years old and incredibly active. She water skis, hikes with her friends, and takes her grandkids to Disney World. So she done did a whole 360, or is it a 180? Because she turned around and went in a whole other direction. So I guess that's considered, is that a 180? I think that's considered a 180. Okay, so my mom had a mind shift that her cancer diagnosis was not a death sentence, but an opportunity to be more intentional about her health and inspire others with her courage and her faith. And a lot of times that's what we got to do. Sometimes we could be a little hard headed, y'all. And we could have to go through a situation in order to put and be more intentional about our health, our mental health, our physical health, and stuff like that. Right? Thank you. Oh, this thing is tight. Woo. So it says, so yeah, sometimes it could take things to happen, but the whole goal is that's why we tell people stuff like, oh, don't go down this path. We went down that path. And it's a borderline because, you know, you don't know if a person projecting fears or if they're really trying to keep you from danger that's lying ahead. But we don't want to take advantage and be intentional about paying attention to our bodies and becoming a better version or keeping our tempo holy in those areas as far as our thoughts, right? So we don't do it until usually something happened. I know that's for me. I was living my life doing what I wanted to do, and God was like, come on over here and sit down somewhere, okay? Sit down somewhere. I'm gonna use it for my glory, but you need to come sit down somewhere. That he got to sit you down. So when you don't pay attention to and be intentional about your health, mental health, physical health, whatever, right? Hey, how are you? So it says, the experience of helping my mom heal crystallized my life mission. So it made it very clear what his life mission was at that point, right? And he, as a medical profession, so he found his purpose helping his mother, the passion that he had, what was going on in his heart, utilizing his skills to research and putting together a plan. It helped his mother to heal, and he wanted to see that for so many other people, just like he said in the beginning. All right, years later, I opened my own clinic in Nashville. This man became a doctor and brought what I learned with my mom to my work there, and brought what I learned with my mom to my work there, helping thousands of patients heal using natural medicine. You don't see that often. You don't see that often where people have natural medicines and remedies, because yeah, they have the natural medicine, but implementing the mental strategy with it too, that's big. Mom showed me that a crisis can either paralyze you and destroy you or unlock an opportunity within you. Basically, it's saying you can lay down and y'all fill in the blanks. You can pick your bed up and walk. How you gonna choose it? And the fight that his mother had to make sure that she got over that ailment that was resilience, right? That's how we do. You get into that fight or flight. You gonna get that fight or flight mode, and you like, I'm not about to lay down and take this. I got to get back up. I'm not accepting defeat in that area, right? And I guess with her being able to take this as an opportunity, it allowed her son to fulfill his purpose. If she'd have just said, forget it, I'm done with it, imagine how that could have changed the trajectory of the people around her. And that's what we got to realize too. What we do affects the people around us. Everything that we get up and do, every choice that we make, every decision, it affects those around us. So that's why we got to make sure that when we walking in our purpose or when we're doing things in life, we're not moving off of fear or not moving off of fear. How about that? Being stagnant. We're not procrastinating. We really going forward and listening to what God is saying to do because it's building your character. He ain't just out here testing you to be testing you. He is putting you in the university called life. Life University, right? It's just like the school that you attended growing up where you had a physical building and a physical teacher. The only difference is now you have become an adult and your teacher is invisible because he's sending the Holy Spirit to lead and guide you, which is inside you. Your holy, what you call it, your intuition, some told me, your second mind, my first mind, your good feeling, all of that. That's your Holy Spirit that God puts inside of you to guide you, right? So it's important to be obedient to God. That's why it's important to be obedient because he's not just out here, got you out here doing things and putting you through tests and making you feel like, why is all of this being put on me? It's building you. It's building your strength. It's building you because he know how powerful you is. God know. And God know that you ain't going to paralyze yourself like this right here. It can either paralyze you and destroy you or unlock the opportunity within you. That's the power of choice that you have with your thoughts. What will you choose today? Will you choose to get up and keep trying, keep going, walking towards your purpose, making sure you don't stop until you are really doing and being what you need to do and be for God? To fulfill his will, right? Or you gonna be like, nah, I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing. It seemed like it been working. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just say this because in a black household, we have a lot. I don't know what the other households is, but let me just say that. I don't know what other households do, but we deal with high blood pressure, diabetes, all of these main sicknesses. And yes, we think, oh, it's tied to food because Big Mama cooked that big old meal every Sunday and they had all them starches and stuff in it. It's that too, but it's also the stress that Big Mama had when them kids that she had was running in and out her house every day or getting on drugs and doing all stuff. They was worrying the heck out of her. So think about how it plays a part on the body. You already putting the wrong foods in your body, and now you got these people around you that you allowing to stress you out. You worried about your children. You worried about your family. You worried about this. You worried about that. Women can tend to put so much burden on themselves from their thoughts. Just from your thoughts. Just from overthinking. Just for having limiting beliefs. And it's okay because you know what? A lot of things that we were taught growing up, we think is good and we think is true. And it may have worked for that certain time frame. But sometimes God wants you to deconstruct what you learned growing up because that is ever gone now, right? A lot of things are changing. God is ever so moving. So as the times change, the seasons change, we must also change how we do certain things. And it may have been acceptable maybe during a certain period where we had to take pig slop, right? I ain't say we because I didn't, but none of us did. But you get what I'm saying, our ancestors or what have you. So they may have had to accept pig slop because that's all they had available to them. But in this day and time, who what? It done got so good to us, we just don't want to let go. We don't want to let it go. But let me go back to read this to y'all. Helping her also led me to identify one of my individual purposes. So he telling you right there that he have more than one purpose, which we all may have more than one purpose in life, right? But this was one of his purposes that he found by helping his mother through her condition from the worry and stress that she had put on herself or what have you. And it says to use food as medicine. So what they say, we got to eat to live, don't live to eat. That's very important. And that's a part of disciplining yourself as well. Disciplining your body and knowing what you should be putting in your mouth and knowing when your stomach is saying, I'm full. That's why when you go to lunch at work on 30 minutes, it's designed to mess you up because you got this big old lunch, 30 minutes to scarf it down. And by the time it processes in your stomach, you are stuffed and you got the itis and you ready to go to sleep. Whereas if you digest your food a little bit more slowly, by the time it get down there, it's going to send you that warning before you could even finish it and be like, hey, I'm full. Change your thoughts, change your destiny. That's right. Exactly. Good morning. So it says, I believe that all of us share a grand purpose, which is to love others, people, and God, and to turn this planet into a paradise. Let's talk about that love thing real quick because love, God says, above everything, you got to love. That's above all. And in order to walk in true, authentic love, you have to be walking and being your true, authentic self. How is it that we can say we love somebody else if we don't love ourselves? And the way we love ourselves is the way we show up for ourselves, the way we're dedicated to ourselves, the way we protect ourselves, the way we pay attention and be intentional about everything that we are dealing with and going through in life, not being delusional about our reality, right? Not feeding ourselves lies and delusion because we want it to be a certain way and we think we're going to speak it into existence. No, that's not how it go. You get what I'm saying? You have to really be true to yourself and tell the truth to yourself. And that's why when we can't be true to ourselves or we're looking for things outside of us, we end up dealing with people that hurt us. And now that causes another thing that's going to weigh on your mind. We got to go get fixed after we dealing with people that's using us because we're not exemplifying that in ourselves. Like we were talking, if you have somebody that keep trying to cross your boundaries 9 times out of 10, it's because you don't reverence your own boundaries, or maybe you haven't created boundaries to let people know this is how far I'm willing to go and I'm gonna stand on it. It is what it is. This is how far, when we lie to ourselves about who we are and what we're doing, if we're really showing up as our true, authentic self, when God can see the mask, we can lie to ourselves all the time, but we ain't gonna never lie to God. We can fool other people some of the time because some people can see straight through it. But when you lie to yourself, you attract liars into your life. And it's time to vibrate on a higher frequency. It's time to get off of that wavelength where we're lying to ourselves because we don't want to face ourselves to become better. Because listen, it's pure joy. Once you get it, it's pure joy. Unexplainable joy. The joy that's going to keep a smile on your face. I'm telling you, that's where God wants you to be. That's the whole goal of enjoying this earthly experience. So, in order to love others, we must love ourselves. And I started saying this when I seen people putting 93 in their gas tank and 87 in their body, I knew then they didn't love themselves. They saw more value in the materialistic thing than they saw in themselves. Have you ever seen somebody like that? Where they will go fill up their car, they will go wash their car every single day. They'll go fill up, they go keep it clean. They gonna put this 93 gas tank in, and you better not put a scratch on it. But yet their temple, the very thing that they can feel, if something go wrong on the inside of them, that very thing, they don't go get checkups. And I mean spiritual checkups, as far as making sure you are in alignment with God. I mean mental checkups where we making sure that our emotions are regulated, where we are striving towards emotional intelligence. We can go to the doctor and get physical checkups all the time, but who's really taking the time out for themselves and being their own doctor to determine where their thoughts lie? That's a mental checkup. See where your head at. See how you're getting there, right? But let me go ahead and finish this. Before you can become the person you were born to be, you must determine your purpose. The best version of yourself always starts with your why. So, for this end of this thing is say think this, not that, right? So the think this is saying this. This is a positive mindset that we can start adopting when we're looking at different situations. And every situation that you face from here on out, I want you to I want you to assess it from a place where you're looking at it from a neutral standpoint, and you think of a negative thought pattern, and then you think of a positive thought pattern for that each individual thing that you're dealing with. That way you can say it's being conscious, being aware of what you're thinking. That's all it is, right? And it says, so think this. It says, my life has value, meaning, and a specific purpose to make this world a better place. That's what we're supposed to be thinking. Not this. It say not that. Don't think this. I have no purpose and no power to make a difference. And that's another thing too. We have to pay attention to the negative words that we speak about ourselves. And a lot of the times, those negative words that we speak about ourselves is not even our own words. It's stuff that people have said about us, little trickery that people have planted in our mindset, or they may have said something that made you feel like you wasn't good enough, and now you've adopted those thoughts of theirs and translated to negative thoughts about how you don't feel like you can perform. But think about how far you've gotten at this point in your life, and how much you've accomplished, and how much you've came through. You were blessed, highly favored, and everything else. You've accomplished so much to not know that the warrior is in you. And a lot of times people see that in you. They see the light in you. They see it. But yet and still, they want to dim it for you. But you got to let it go, because you cannot hold on to their thoughts. That's when you have to process it and throw away what you don't need, so that it's not being regurgitated into your mind. Because if we're thinking 56,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of them are on repeat, we don't want to be repeating what somebody else said. We want to change it, right? So we have to look at the positive and the negative aspect. We are in a dualistic world, right? It's duality. You got negative and you got positives in the world. So you have to look at it from both aspects to make a determining decision. To make a determining decision on which route you want to go. And you can either reap the rewards or reap the consequence. If change isn't possible, you need to talk to God about that. You need to go talk to God, and you need to be real with him and let him know, hey, help me out of this situation. However you go to God, you need to ask him to show you or show you the way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So right here it says your why your why matters. We're going to just talk about this real quick. So the thing I highlighted was, why do you exist? You have to ask yourself this. Why do I exist? You know you didn't create yourself. And even in the Bible, it say, I knew you before you were even formed in your mother's womb, right? Even with Samson, on the story of Samson and Delilah, Samson was even ordained before he was born. And God had gave his mother a specific instruction on what not to do while she was pregnant, because she knew who she was carrying, right? That's the same thing with us. God knew who we was before we were even thought of. So the purpose is bigger than us, right? Our purpose in life is already predestined, but it's up to us to use our free will, right? That's why we have free will come into place, to where we can make a decision if we're going to walk that path or not. And sometimes God will make you still walk that path. He'll let you go turn over to a reprobate mind, but sometimes he will still make you have to experience sacrifice, in which this mother had to go through. Probably, maybe God was trying to get her attention, and she had to go through a situation to overcome. And then it also helped her son in the process to become walking in his purpose. It helped her to be more intentional about what God had probably been trying to get her attention for her to do anything, right? Anything is possible if you focus enough. It could take time, though. That's why I said with discipline, you got to have discipline and organization, organizing your personal life in whatever way, form, or fashion. Just like he created a whole plan for his mother to do. Not she did it for 4 months for it to go down 50%. But then when she did it for 9 months, it went away totally. We can't think that things just gonna happen right away. We don't live in a microwave society where God is just, I mean, he can, but a lot of times things like this may take a little bit longer. We have to have some consistency with it, right? We can't think that it's going to work after taking it for 3 days and then we give up. Amen. Yeah. So being organized by her, I'm quite sure she had to have some type of organized structure to look at this list every day. He probably made it real nice on the paper, laid it out, told her, okay, do this, do that. And she had to follow this regimen. And every day she had to get up and she had to go back to this, revert to this list that he done created in order to make sure that she did everything on that list. That's why it's important to be organized, right? Because it's going to help you to remember the things that we sometimes forget. I mean, look at the videos that we have now. They're shortened so much that our attention span is just not there like it used to be. So we have to force ourselves to write things down in order to remember, because thoughts is just coming like this. We get easily distracted like this. You know what I mean? So it says, why do you do what you do every day? Each and every day. You have to ask yourself, why do you do what you're doing? Whatever it is that you're doing right now, why are you doing it? Does it lead up to your big why of why you want to be and do what you want to do as far as walking in your purpose? What's your why? So make a decision on, is your why really your priority, right? Because it's going to show up in what you do every single day. And that's the real answer. You could say, oh yes, I this is my why, and I love this. This is my passion. I want to walk in my, I want to have this big vision dream and do all of this, whatever it is that you decide. But then every single day when you show up, it shows the opposite. You know what I'm saying? All you see in your life when you actually take a look at it is evading or running from you. Being busy, running here, running there, not really taking the time out and listening to God, not really doing what you're supposed to do on your end, not keeping your personal stuff organized so that when God tell you to move, he be like, when you move, I move just like that. You know what I'm saying? When I move, you move. He wants you to go. He don't want no delay. He wants you to move because you're supposed to be ready, willing vessel, right? And every single day when you wake up and you be like, Lord, not my will, but your will be done. Be ready to take action. You got to be ready for the God. You can't be just crawling out the bed at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You got to get up early. Because the other people that God may want you to be there to use as a vessel to help somebody else, they probably already out and about. You were supposed to be at the store at 10 o'clock in the morning when God put it on your heart to get there when they open up. But you ain't get out the bed at 2. You know what I'm saying? Have a good day. So, the answers to these questions have everything to do with purpose. Purpose is the reason for which something exists or is made. Simply put, it is the why for your existence. What's your why? What's your why? In the big picture, we all want to live a life that matters and make a difference, right? How do we do this? By alleviating suffering in the world and helping others reach their full potential. That's the goal right there. The goal is to alleviate suffering and helping others reach their full potential. And it's all about our experiences, what we've experienced in life, what we've went through. Even though this gentleman didn't go through that situation directly, he was affected because it was his mother. So he was indirectly affected, right? Because he probably had to be there to take care of his mother. So the situation didn't start with him, yet it helped him to determine his purpose because he went on a quest. So the situation, the journey may not start with you, but you right there with that person in your life. And you may have determined, hey, this is what it is. I got to go on my mission to help this person, especially if it's somebody that you really love. Or maybe it's just yourself, just like me, you know. God put me on a quest to help myself. So when you say that, oh, you know, you talk with wisdom or you do this, or it's because I've been through a whole lot. But one thing about it, baby, when you go through situations in life, those tests, those trials, that suffering before you get to that blessing, God will send you through the fire and you will come out looking like you was never touched. And then there's some people And then there's some people out here in the world that may be waiting for a healing in whatever area in their life. It may not have to be a physical healing from something like that. It may be a mental healing. Whatever it is that helped you overcome, give that to the world. Share your experience. Share your journey. It's going to help somebody. And it may just be the person you see at the store. It may be somebody on your job. You never know who God will put on your heart to go and minister to and talk to and let them know that it's going to be okay. And a lot of times it's because you're blindly being told to do it by God, so you don't even realize that this person is going through this. I don't want to be made to look crazy, God. And God like, look, just do what I said. And see, that's a part of another thing that God, the way that God do it like that is because he don't want, sometimes we could be like, who told you that was going on with me? But if God sends a person that they know don't know none of their business, they can only say that had to be God that led you to me because nobody knew what I was going through. You see how God works? We be over here thinking with our overthinking and our limited thoughts and beliefs. We be like, God, that might not be what's going on with her. We be trying to tell God what's going on with people, right? When he tell us to do something. We be trying to tell him. Like he don't see all and know all. So yeah, that's exactly what you should do, right? Having that deep sense of purpose, of helping somebody else, of being there and fulfilling something and passionately doing it, that's your purpose. Utilize your skills, whatever it is. Figure out a way to cultivate it in a way to where you can use it for God's glory, right? That's what it's all about. So go take a look back over all of the things that you've done, whether it be in school, whether it be in your careers, whether it be, different jobs that you had and different skills that you obtained, being in different positions. You get what I'm saying? Just think like me working for the one company, one of the things that we learned as far as working in a call center is you don't take anything personal. The person is not mad at you. They're mad at the company. If their services get turned off, they're not mad at you. They don't know who you is. They get mad at the company. I'm like, okay, cool. I can handle that. Not knowing why, but because we can easily get offended when somebody calls in and they're ready to tell us off and give us a piece of their mind and all of that. And then guess what? It brought us to this day. And you see how people be saying stuff sometime on here and then you got to overlook it because they not mad at me. They mad at my boss. They mad at my boss, which is God. You know what I mean? So they got to go take that up with God. I'm just a representative of God, and I'm here to answer the calls for him and be the vessel that he needs me to be, and whatever else outside of that. And if you want to do anything to me, baby, let me tell you something. One thing about me, and two things for certain, I'm going to tell on you. I'm going to tell them on you. I'm gonna go straight to God and be like, God, this person done came up against me because they ain't like what I said or did to them. They ain't like it, so if they think they about to do something to me, go, God, get them. I'm telling on you. I'm telling. So I don't. You got to learn how to tell on other people when they coming up against you. If you think you walking at fear because what other people gonna say or think, right? I will tell on you with the quickness. God, help me. Look, he did it, not me. He did it. She did it. So just have that all knowing to know that God that got your back regardless, no matter what, right? Just know he got you. And you can always go to him. And guess what? He gonna set the record straight with them. He gonna set the record straight with them. Anybody that come up against you, man, listen, I would never lift a finger as long as I know God get him. He can fight stuff, battles way more than me, right? I'm going to get tired and wore out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But God, he going to handle it for me. I ain't got to do nothing. Be like, oh, okay. Oh, you acting silly? Oh, you acting strange, crazy? Have a good day. And I'm going to leave it to God. And guess what? Don't call me when the guy come through with his wrath and be like, you know what happened to me? I don't want to hear about it either. That's your business. That was the decision. And God will put it on their hearts too and let them know this was messing with my child. Remember you did this? Remember you did this to my children? You getting it back. So just tread lightly, y'all. You know, hey, Melissa. So that's what I have for y'all today. Walking in your purpose is very good. There's this chart as well too. Maybe I should. It says the principle can be seen in the top tier of the hierarchy of needs developed by Abraham Maslow, right? One of the founders of humanistic psychology. So I'm going to leave it off with this right here. He saw the needs of a human being as a pyramid. So it's just like the pyramid, the food pyramid. But it says ranging from the foundational basics, our personal needs, to sustain life, such as water and food, to the top level of self-transcendence, right? Becoming the best version of ourselves, which pour into others and help them grow. According to this pyramid, our purpose includes helping people fulfill their lives. I want y'all to screenshot this real quick. I'm about to put this up on the screen so y'all can take a picture of this pyramid so we can read it, y'all. Take a picture of it. I got a picture of it. Screenshot it. Do what you got to do right there. So on here it says for the physiological at the bottom of the pyramid, it says that you get your basic needs, which is water, food, sleep, shelter, clothing, and health, right? This is physical. And then you have the safety, which is body, family, employment, morality, and property, right? Now we're going to go on to the mental aspect of love and belonging, which is family, friendship, and intimacy. Then you have your esteem, which is your self-worth, accomplishment, respect, recognition. And then once you get to self-actualization, it is virtue, contribution, personal growth, and reaching your full potential. And then when you get to the self-transcendence, which is at the top of the pyramid, right here at the top of the pyramid, divine identity, purpose, spiritual growth, self-sacrificing love. So this is why it's important to become, y'all, because God wants you to work on your self-worth, knowing that you're worthy. It's a difference between having pride and having confidence that God will work it out for you. You having a confidence of God, a knowing that God is going to do whatever it is he's going to do for you. But it's also without having the pride. You know, people can mistake the two sometimes, but working on yourself and working on your physical, your mental, and then your spiritual, in order to walk in your purpose fully, walking in full love, regardless of what people do or say. You're walking in that love space because you love yourself and you understand other people from an empathic position without over giving yourself or feeling like you're gullible for doing what you're doing or what have you. You're using the discernment that God has placed inside of you to know who to help, when to help, and how to help, right? So that's a part of it. So but anytime somebody trying to come up against you, understand them from a different aspect. Would that take that whole thing when I said start off at the zero? You're neutral to the whole situation, and you can think of a scenario that's a positive of why they may be doing or saying what they're saying. What is the underlining, the root condition, the root reason that they're acting out? Are they hiding something and it's coming out of that mask, or are they really feeling this way about me? Like you want to think about it from a specific aspect that allows you to be more empathetic so that you can continue to walk in love and you're not harboring hate or bitterness. Because guess what? That's why they say forgiveness is for you, because forgiveness being for you will help you alleviate all of these things that you are suppressing in your body. All of the bitterness, the anger, the hurt, all of these things is coming up out of you because you're walking in love. You're not letting it affect you, and you're not going to let it affect your health because you're trying to get to a place of wealth. So why you going to set yourself back when you working on walking towards a path of wealth, and now you got to go backtrack and focus on health? Keep your health up in line right now, y'all, okay? Keep it together. Get it together now. But that's all I want to talk to y'all about right now. I really appreciate y'all giving me y'all time and attention today with this video about walking in your purpose, understanding it a little bit better. God gonna give you the desires of your heart. You just have to make a decision on what it is that you want to do and what pierces your heart to make you want to go move forward with passion to help build the kingdom of God, right? And then he's going to give you his will, which is what he wants you to do, how he wants you to do it, okay? But whatever you choose, good or bad, evil or not, your thoughts, your limiting beliefs or your unlimiting beliefs, God got your back. But you will reap the consequences or the rewards. The choice is yours. Either way. Let's grow.